Hello, this is Gilbert Burdine. I'm going to take you through the use of Turning Point to add questions to your PowerPoint presentations. You need to have the Turning Point software installed. If you do not have it, Sarah from IT can help you with this. And you need to make sure you have the most recent version or things will not work properly. So I'm going to get started, open this Turning Point icon and bring up the software. Down here in this bottom bar, if I click here, I can bring up an About box which has the version number, and this 5.3.1.3337 is what we want. We have these three options here, and what we're interested in is the left option, PowerPoint polling. And now we have a familiar looking window, which is the basic Turning Point, or the basic PowerPoint window, with one addition. We have this Turning Point tab, and the software will load with the Turning Point tab. There are a couple of buttons here that are important. This button will allow us to add a new Turning Point question. This button will allow us to add the correct answer indicator. Now you have your other PowerPoint tabs available, and if with the File tab you can pull up an existing PowerPoint presentation and add questions to it. But I'm going to create a small demonstration from scratch. So I'm going to just put a title in here and put my name in. And the date. Okay, and we'll use our button to create a new question. Now, most, if not all of us, will use this first category, multiple choice. Turning Point will now populate the slide, and there's this panel here which for most of you will probably show preferences in this way. We're going to need this, but it's often helpful to get it out of the way, especially when doing the question text. So I'm going to just put in a question here. And then I'm going to add some possible answers. The administration would like us to have 3 to 5 possible choices with one clearly correct answer. Okay, now to make things look right, you sometimes have to click on a different part of the presentation and then click back so that the graph is populated correctly. And we see our response graph here. And down here are the text of the various choices. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is indicate which answer is correct, and we'll need our preference bar. And we go down here to scoring options, and we see that we have our 5 choices, all of which have no value. So we go to our correct choice, which is B, and we indicate correct. The software will automatically indicate all of the other answers as incorrect. There are some other ways of doing things, but this is probably what you're going to want for your slide. We now want to just add our correct answer indicator, so we go to Objects, correct answer indicator. You have a number of choices. I like the check mark. Okay, and now our question is done. There are a few options that we have, and we should just talk about them. You may find them helpful. The first thing is you have a limited area here for the text of the question. If you have a patient vignette that has a lot of text, you probably need to construct the vignette on a previous slide, then have your question be something simple, such as what test should be ordered next, or what therapy should be administered at this time, something like that. The other thing is, if the text of your answers is very long, then the bottom of your chart will get very cluttered. If this is the case, you can change these headings here from the text to the bullet choice, and I'll just show you how to do that in case you need that option. So you open up your menu, you click on the chart, and you see here your preferences now have things related to the chart. You can change the color scheme. I use the PowerPoint scheme, the default scheme, but you have some other options. You could define your own scheme, and this correct, incorrect is one option. The correct, incorrect will show the correct answer is green and all of the incorrect answers is red. I like to just use the default, but the choice is yours. Now, to fix the text problem, we go down here to chart labels and we choose bullets. And you can see here that the text is changed to A, B, C, D, E. And this will work nicely if you have very long answers. Well, I'm going to just put it back and leave the text since my text is somewhat short. Okay, just going to get my default preferences back, and we'll get this out of the way. Now we're ready to save the file and test it. So you just go to your file menu and you save as whatever you like. I'm going to use my PowerPoint folder and call this TurningPointDemo. I'm going to replace a previous version, and then we're ready to go. So now we're ready to test. Now, when you test, you need to be sure to change live polling to simulated, unless you have polling hardware in your office. We don't, so we're going to use simulated polling. You need to make sure it's on live polling if you're giving a lecture. Otherwise, you won't get the student responses. So we're going to just go to slideshow from the beginning, and we see our title slide. I advance, and we see our question, and up here we see responses. If you're doing this in class, as the students use their clickers, the response indicator will advance to the next number, and you'll get an idea when the students have pretty much finished. If you need to speed things up, you can say something like, we need to finish up now, going once, going twice, sold, and then when you advance, you close polling and display the results of the student responses. And we see the number of choices here, or the percentage of the choices here for each choice. Finally, when we advance the next time, we will see our correct answer indicator and showing us what the right answer. If you have a situation where many of the students get the answer wrong, you can spend time where needed to indicate which answers were incorrect. Okay, well, that's basically it, and I hope you have enjoyed this. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask.